Today's video is a bit of a reflection video on what's really been working well in my training so far this year, and it's definitely paid off in Mallorca. I want to talk to you about the 5 key things that I've actually changed, and number 4, I think something very personal that I've struggled with for years and I've managed to fix. The truth is, at 54, I'm running a lot better and stronger than I have in the past. I've just come back, if you don't know, from 6 weeks in Mallorca and clocked over 1,889 miles with over 133,000 feet of climbing. And despite that volume, my power in structured focus sessions has been stronger and more consistent than in previous years. So let's break this down. What's made the biggest difference, and why are these things really changing the way that I ride my bike, and how that's going to help you as a master cyclist, if you're hitting 40 and over, get even more out of your cycling? The answer to that question is no, and here's why. Over the winter, I worked on long 10-minute climbs just over threshold, and then as I got closer to Mallorca, I shortened those and pushed them harder into VO2 max territory. That's a big shift from last year, where I did a huge VO2 turbo block from January to March, plus hill reps every 10 days. I think looking back to 2024, I just did too much. This year, I've scaled it right back, so just one hard session a week at or around threshold, and that's helped me improve what's called fractional utilization, or how much of your VO2 max you can actually use for sustained efforts. Then nearer to Mallorca, I brought in more VO2 work, and that worked an absolute treat. Here's the proof for you. After a big 450 mile block, I climbed Cyclists in 34:12 at sweet spot with a heart rate around about 157 and my power about 257 watts. If you can consider that my FTP is 305 and my threshold heart rate's around about 170, 172, it shows you that wasn't even near threshold. And what it showed me is by pulling back and being specific and working on my fractional utilization and then VO2, it's created this robustness in my ability to hold power and a lot of fitness. The biggest shift in my performance this year has come from working in the gym, and I went into the winter with a clear purpose to get as strong as I possibly could. My gym training is not sexy. I've been working on deadlifts, push-pull work and pendulum squats. I started around about 80 kg in October, and by April I was lifting 130 kg for 4 sets and 5 repetitions. And when you consider I was 66 kg when I went to Mallorca, that's almost twice my body weight. And here's the key. I talk about this a lot, but as we age, it's not just our VO2 and our aerobic base that declines, it's our muscular system, both slow twitch and fast twitch muscle fibers, that lose their capacity. Most cyclists ignore strength training, and I think that's a big mistake. This isn't just about power on the bike, it's about your long-term health, bone density and aging well. 100%, I think master cyclists, or every cyclist, should be having strength in their training plan and making it a really big thing. And again, the results of getting really strong is that I hadn't done a single ride over 100 miles this year. And when I went out and rode 137 miles and held sweet spot for the final 20 minutes, I felt pretty robust, strong, and able to hold that power. It just goes to show you that being strong helps you hold power, but it's also really, really important for your endurance capacity. Let me be really clear here, and this might trigger a few people. I'm not talking about body weight work, banded work, or yoga. I'm talking about hitting the gym and lifting heavy under load, adding in plyometrics. The biggest takeaway is when we train our muscle fibers and energy systems properly, we fight back at that age-related decline that everybody's so worried about. And that's not just about performance on the bike, it's about your longevity and health span. I say this all the time when people ask, they go, oh, you're quite obsessive. I'm like, well, look, here's the thing. I don't want to get to 80 or 90 not to be able to get out of a chair. I want to actually be in as best shape as I possibly can and use my training now to fund the fact that if I do get to 90, I can still push, pull things and be very active. Not many people think about investing in their longevity here and now, and I think that's a really good message to get across. This year I took the decision to back off the volume a little bit. My big events aren't until Inferno, France and the Dolomites, latter half of September. Looking back at my total volume from last year, I've been down by about 50 to 75 miles per week compared to the 2024. That's given me one big thing: proper, consistent recovery. I'll let you into a little secret that I've been thinking about. Even though I won the men's solo event at Inferno Swiss last year, I was pretty much on the edge, close to burnout. And I think by pulling back and feeling fresher, my power endurance are better for it. Yeah, I know as an experienced cyclist, I should probably know better, but we learn, and that's the cool thing about being a coach, is that when we start looking at metrics and learning a bit more about ourselves and about the science and thinking more strategically, we get better. This one's kind of personal. I've never really talked about it, but I've struggled with sleep for years. If you spoke to me last year about my sleep patterns, I'd have told you that I was a terrible insomniac, and I could have nearly 4 to 5 months of sleeping 4 to 5 hours a night with very little deep sleep in it. Honestly, I just thought that was me and I'd never be able to fix it. But after speaking to a couple of medical practitioners and people in the family who are doctors, they're saying, look, this isn't normal, Simon, and you need to go and get it fixed. Go and speak to your doctor. So I did. And I was sat in front of her and she was like, look, we never see you, Simon, never. So what's going on? And I was chatting to her and my left eye was twitching really badly. And she was like, how long's that been going on for? About 3-4 months. And she was like, that is classic signs of sleep deprivation. I think what we need to do is put you on a couple of weeks of sleep medication to get you back into rhythm. Now, this has really worked. I'm now averaging about 8 hours of sleep every night, and I'm getting at least 20 to 30 minutes deep sleep every night. I can't stress this enough. It has changed the way that I recover from my training. It's made me more focused. It's basically helped me, get more healthy. This is a bonus I didn't expect to matter so much this year because I thought I had it dialed in. But Bike Fit evolves, your body changes and your goals shift. Now, Brian made some major changes this year. So we changed my cranks from 170mm down to 160, my bars from 40 to 36 centimeters, and my saddle width from 140 to 130. The result? More efficient, more positive on climbs, sharper descending, and more in tune with the bike. It's been, I think, a real shift change in my ability to hold much more power for less effort, and it's just been a lot more joyful to ride the BMC. And again, it's not cheap, but if you're buying high quality bikes and you're riding them out of shape on the wrong crank length, what's the point of buying that bike if you're just not able to ride it at its best? Do you agree, disagree, think Bike Fit's pointless? Do you know what? Put some comments down below. Let's have a conversation about it. So those are the 5 things that have helped me ride stronger, smarter, and more consistently this year so far. What about nutrition, Simon? Well, I think that's something that we can all improve on. And if you've been struggling with that, then I made a video on what to focus on and how to improve your diet to get the best out of it, well, right here.